What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm here to bring you part 1 of my F1 2018 career mode. So to kick off, I'm just going to walk you through my avatar, my crash helmet and everything like that while I'm talking in the background. Apart from one thing to note, my audio name is Ryder, which actually works really well with obviously the persona I use of Daniel Ryder. Anyway, this is a lot later than I had originally planned. I already know that, so you know, but it's coming out now and I'm hoping to maybe get 1 to 3 of these out a week. That's the idea anyway. I'm also not showing you the invitational events because, you know, there's no real, I will do them, but I feel there's no real need to go through it. So there you go. That's the way it's going. That's the way it's going to go. If you do want me to include it, well, and if you follow me on Twitter, you will know we are choosing Renault. And I didn't know who to choose my teammate to begin with because Sainz and Hulkenberg pretty equal on performance, I would feel, and in the end I went with Carlos Sainz. And going through weekend structure race settings and assists, full qualifying, no formation lap, 25% races, and the AI is going to be 101, which is the first step of ultimate. I don't know why it comes out there. It does actually somewhere else in the video as well, but you know, race starts on manual. Now go through my assists as usual, no assists as usual. But I am going to have corners only and suggested gears. That's the only things I'm having on, and let's get into the weekend.
Thanks for coming by. I'm sure you're very anxious to get out on track. It's taken a lot of effort to get to F1. Congratulations. But the real work starts now. This is
Claire, motorsports journalist. Nice to meet you. You'll be seeing quite a lot of me throughout the season. So, you had a pretty impressive junior career. How are you feeling about your move into F1? Do you think you have what it takes?
Let's save the questions for a proper interview, shall we? I'm sure you'll have a lot more to talk about once there's been some action on track. I think we could fit you in after FP1 if you're free.
That works for me. I'll grab you the second you finish on the track.
Remember, the relationship you have with the team can be affected by what you say to the media, so be careful. Anyway, it's time to catch up with Carl. He's waiting for you in the data center. Good luck out there today.
Welcome to the data center. Here, we've got access to all kinds of information, including car telemetry, weather, lap times, tyre wear, the list goes on. Plus, we've got a direct link back to the factory, so we're in constant communication with the team there. We need you to regularly feedback about areas of the car that are lacking and help us direct our resources in the most productive way. More effort here. Oh, and make us all look good, okay?
So we have just met Carl, Claire and our agent Emma, I believe it is. So now we are going to have a look at the workstation, and we have 6 messages to go through. But you know, now I'm just looking through all this stuff, and the thing I was really interested in seeing was the R&D tree, because obviously there's team specific R&D trees, and I straight away went to durability to upgrade the general wear and everything, because that's essential. Having a look at the chassis, 4th best team on that at the moment. Aerodynamics, 4th best team on that as well, and powertrain, we're the 3rd worst team. So those are things we'll be looking to upgrade throughout the season. But now let's get into now look through the messages. Obviously, just have a quick flick through this, and we need to have one clean race to get 400 resource points as our first objective. And now let's get into practice. So I'm not usually going to show you practice, but I'm just showing you this practice to really show you a bit of the feel of what it's like, and just to mainly because it's only really for this first video, but if you do want me to keep showing you this, then I will keep showing it to you. And that was track acclimatization, which we absolutely smashed. Perfect score, 555 out of 555 gates hit. And next we go on to, this is race strategy. I always do race strategy second, just because I feel it's not that, you know, track acclimatization and race strategy I feel are probably the easiest tests to do around this track, but nevertheless we do get purple on that as well. Then we move on to the tyre wear, which is fairly simple. Just beat the lap time and be kind on the tyres. Around Australia, I always know where always around the final corner gets very, very easy on the tyres. So that's always easy to get purple for myself, and we get another 50 resource points in the bank. And then I went on to the ERS management, and this is, I believe, the end of my first lap. Yeah, it's the end of my first lap on this test, when I was trying different modes to see what would work. And then on the second lap, which you're going to see, actually no, on the first lap you're going to see it obviously. What I actually did was I did it on medium, and that was fairly simple for me. I did it on medium straight away, and got it done, and then just put it down right at the end to save it. This is fuel management. I didn't complete lap time at the first set on the first lap, but at the end of this second lap, you can see that I am in fact beating the lap time, and I am going to believe I get purple. I lift off right at the end, I believe. Yep, just there, and we get a perfect score for that as well. Now, so we end up 9th in the first session. I was fairly happy with that. Now we're going to have an interview with Claire.
Good day today. It's been a lot of hard work, but here you are making your debut in Formula 1. You must be thrilled. So how are you finding things at the team? Are you settling in? What are you expecting out of this season? Are you just aiming to find your feet in Formula 1, or do you see something more? Great! Well, that's everything.
We just completed our first time-pressured interview with Claire, and I believe I chose a sportsmanship perk sort of thing, like answer, and that's obviously what I wanted to do, because Renault did my team prefer sportsmanship, and obviously I want to win a championship with Renault and keep a good reputation with them. But nevertheless, at the end of practice 1 we get 395 resource points to take our total up to 1,745. Reputation with the teams going fairly well. We went up with all Red Bull, Toro Rosso, Haas, Ferrari, Alpha, and all of those, obviously veteran sportsmanship and showmanship stuff. And now we go into the R&D tree, because I was thinking about what I wanted to do. Obviously got the durability upgrade coming in the next race, and I was debating whether to go aero, chassis or powertrain. I was thinking I'll go powertrain, and that is actually what Carl suggested, so we're going to upgrade that. And then I was thinking about what we could do next, but I thought I'll see how practice 2 goes, then maybe we'll do something on aero or chassis. Aero I think might be a better way to go, but practice 2 I did in fact top that session, and we are now going to go to another interview with Claire about after practice 2.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. You're flying in practice. Do you think you can carry this over to qualifying? Great! Well, that's everything.
So we just completed our second interview with Claire, and you will notice that we did in fact get 2 aerodynamic noticeable answers, which I'm hoping will improve the morale of the aerodynamics. I think we did big them up a bit, and look at the reputation of all the teams. We all went up with every single team apart from Red Bull and Renault, which is fair enough after practice 2. We did top the session after all, and then I believe we go into the workstation, go to the R&D tree, and I was thinking about aero now. I wanted to see the morale modifier, and obviously you can see the upgrade price reduced by, I believe that is 8% and 4% for the failure chance. And I was debating whether to go for front downforce or rear downforce, and I decided to go in the end with rear downforce, because in practice 2, obviously the session we just done, and even in practice 1 I was struggling quite a bit with the rear stepping out after turn 12, which is the fast left right chicane. Turn 12 is the exit that, and I was really struggling with that. So, the aero upgrade should really help with that. And at the end of qualifying now, which I'm not showing you, you can see that we did beat Carl Sainz, and we in the end get 150 resource points for that, which takes our total up to 1040. I was hoping that qualifying went. I can't exactly remember where I qualified. I believe Carlos got knocked out in Q2. And I believe that I ended up in 8th, 7th maybe. I can't exactly remember. But nevertheless, let's get on to the race. I'll see you on the track.
New drivers, new cars and a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that hosts the first round of a 21 race championship, taking us from here in Melbourne, Australia, across the globe before we eventually reach the season finale at the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. Here's the track then, 16 corners, 6 to the left and 10 to the right. They make up the 3.3 miles around Albert Park Lake, with turn 1 and 3 providing the best opportunities to pass. We have plenty of changes to the sport this year, with the addition of new safety features, the return of France and Germany in an expanded 21 race calendar, and more tyre compounds than ever before. And of course, we have some big car manufacturers back in the sport too, with Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin returning as title sponsors for Sauber and Red Bull respectively. Joining me to take you through all the action of the 2018 Formula One season is Anthony Davidson. Great to have you with us.
Thanks, Crofty. Always happy to be here. I'm looking forward to getting underway. Last year was Mercedes' 4th Constructors' title in a row, although for the first half of the season, it was absolutely neck and neck with the Ferraris. Hopefully this year we can see the chasing pack take that final step, as I'd love to see a championship contest all the way up to the final race in Abu Dhabi. Another story to keep an eye on is the relative performance of McLaren and Toro Rosso, who have exchanged power unit suppliers this year. And given the additional restrictions on engine components, they need to be strong in terms of both performance and reliability.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Ryder, Daniel Ricciardo and Bottas, Grosjean, Magnussen, Alonso and Stoffel van Dorn, Perez, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Hartley, Ericsson, Stroll, Sergei Sirotkin and Pierre Gasly. Sainz. They've taken a grid penalty and Esteban Ocon rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So here we are on the grid for the start of the Australian Grand Prix, having a look at the race strategy. Leaving I feel the same, because that is fairly good, and I did think about editing the strategy, but I'm just going to go with that. I always do it on the fly anyway. And now we're on the grid. We actually qualified in 4th, so we didn't actually qualify in 4th, but we did have move up with a few edits. 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go for the Australian Grand Prix. A fairly decent start. Raikkonen gets a good start. Vettel doesn't get the best. Hamilton's good away as well, and we're being attacked into the first corner, but we do maintain 4th place. Raikkonen and Vettel, it seems, battling. We have a warning for a collision with Bottas, which I didn't actually feel anything, but nevertheless, Vettel and Raikkonen. Now this is a good battle to watch. Vettel and Raikkonen going at it, but 2 Ferrari teammates, of course, they won't want to make contact, and it seems like Vettel gets it here, but Raikkonen is still hanging around the outside. I lifted off, and Raikkonen now gets a better exit through there, and he is ahead of Sebastian Vettel. We get attacked by that Valtteri Bottas, managed to maintain 4th place, and now it seems that Vettel has been pinched out by Raikkonen, and we're looking pretty close, and we decided to dive up the inside. Do we? No, we don't. We had a look, but Vettel actually has a bad exit, and we are able to move up into the podium places, moving to 3rd place, and staying ahead of Vettel. He does try to go around the outside, but it's not really going to work. It's going to be close, and we managed to maintain 3rd place there. Very good battle, very good start to the race actually, and now we are going to try and stay ahead of Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen, try to catch Kimi Raikkonen. I believe that we'll just have to try best to stay ahead of Vettel and not catch Raikkonen, and we're on lap 2 now, around where we pass Vettel, and Vettel goes up the inside and we yield, but we're still now come back at him, and we do in fact maintain 3rd place from Sebastian Vettel. And now we are going on to the same place on lap 3, and DRS of course is now enabled, and there's new DRS zone this year right across here, and Vettel is using that to his advantage, and we're in overtake mode, you can see on the ERS, but Vettel still gets ahead of us nevertheless, but we are still going to try and hang it around, but I believe that is Sebastian Vettel well and truly ahead of us. Is it? No, because we got the inside of Sebastian Vettel, and he's still our inside in the final corner, and we are able to still maintain third. We are going up, putting the ERS up into overtake and the DRS, which means we should be set in stone ahead of Sebastian Vettel right now. And on to lap 4. Next on lap 5, I believe Sebastian Vettel made his pit stop, and this is when we are going to come in for our pit stop. So we're on hot lap mode at the moment, have a quick in lap and save it in the pits, go to none in the pits. So that's one thing I'm going to be doing, as I'm going to be I sometimes will go for a fast in lap and then save the RS later on in the pit lane. Going down the pit lane and pulling into our pit box, we are now having a fresh set of super soft tyres going on the car, and we're being held now and let go of the clutch, and we now put the ERS back up to medium, and we are also putting the engine back up to standard high ERS now, and we release the pit limiter up, and it looks like we will rejoin the race in 16th. And Kevin Magnussen is right behind us. We're behind Sebastian Vettel still, but Kevin Magnussen is right behind us now. He's very, very close on our back, and we're in overtake mode. And Ricciardo pulls a fantastic move around the outside of both of us, myself and Magnussen. And Magnussen let go at the end, but we were able to maintain 17th place ahead of him. So I lost place to Daniel Ricciardo, but theoretically he's in Red Bull, which is better than the Renault, so you can expect him to be ahead of us, as we are on lap 6 now. Onto the end of lap 6, a little later on, there's the yellow flags, and that is for Kimi Raikkonen, who is out of the race, as you can see on your screen now, and now Sainz is in the pits, and we are going to have to try and obviously stay ahead of him in the pits, maintain our advantage, and we have Magnussen hunting us down. Still, we're in overtake mode, and he just breezed past us like we were standing still. We now move back up into 11th place, just outside the points. But I was also in a bit of, I was thinking, okay, Ferrari engine, and now Grosjean also breezed past us like we were standing still, and I was thinking, what is going on? I was thinking maybe it's a Ferrari engine difference compared to the Renault, because the Ferrari engine obviously is so much quicker than the Renault this year. In the game and in real life, so I was putting it down to Ferrari engine, but now we are obviously trying to catch back up to Grosjean and Magnussen, and we have Sergio Perez on our gearbox as well, so it's going to be tough, and he's actually going for a move up the inside. No, it's Fernando Alonso going up the move up the inside, so that's Sergio Perez and myself. We haven't taken my Fernando Alonso, an overtake on 2 cars again. So we've seen that from Daniel Ricciardo and now from Fernando Alonso in the McLaren. And the Renault is actually a bit faster than the McLaren and the Force India. So I was wondering what was happening. But here I had DRS and I was pressing the circle to activate DRS, and it just wasn't opening. I thought it might have been opening and then closing straight away, but I didn't have a problem with it. And Perez, as you saw, just flew past us, and I didn't actually know what was going on. But I was thinking, okay, let's try DRS again. Overtake mode, obviously, the yellow flags, but we still try to use DRS anyway, and it's actually still not working. You can see it's not opening or closing, it's just not working. And we move back up into 10th, there's that screen flags, and it's still just not working. Come through the first corner, we are doing alright, and still trying again for the opening DRS, it just wouldn't work. So I paused the game, unplugged my wheel, plugged it back in, and then it was fine. The DRS did actually work after that. And I also felt that I got my pace back. I don't know whether it was. I think it was because my wheel probably wasn't working properly that I did lose pace, and why the DRS wasn't working. And after I plugged it in, I was able to. I felt I was straight back on the pace, faster than Perez and Alonso, and maybe the Haas guys in front of me. Still at the moment defending from Brendan Hartley, but now as we move on to lap 10, we now have Perez, Alonso and Leclerc as well fighting. Perez and Alonso fighting with Leclerc ahead. I run wide, but nevertheless, we are still now getting involved in this battle. So I don't know where the clerk came from. He did a fantastic job, nevertheless, to get up into 6th place, and we're in 9th, obviously. I was thinking, I'm faster than Perez, and I should be able to get past and move on him soon. So I'm thinking about where I can make an overtake. In medium ERS deployment at the moment, and I was thinking, okay, maybe now that I've got this all sorted, maybe I could get a pass him with the DRS, and we get a brilliant exit off turn 12. Open the DRS, you can see now it is working. Perez still has a DRS, but I believe that we are much faster, and we decide to have a look at the inside. On F1 2017 and previous one race, I would have gone for that move and it would have been fine, but on 2018 with the AI how they are and with the curbs, it just wouldn't work. So we dive at the inside into the penultimate corner, and we move up into 8th place, and we have DRS now to hunt down Fernando Alonso and Charles Leclerc. Alonso of course has DRS as well, and we're sticking right behind him to get the toe, and Alonso's going to go around the clerk on the outside, and he does in fact get ahead. I believe there was slight contact there. We nearly make contact with the clerk and open the DRS, and Perez is also going to try and get us as we now make a diving move up the inside of Charles Leclerc. Contact, and it's quite hard there, but Leclerc gets ahead. That was a pretty dirty move from me, if I do say so myself. I just didn't plan it very well, and now we are going up the inside. Charles Leclerc again, he locks up, and we move up into 7th place, and now try to hunt down Fernando Alonso. Lap 13, so it's been a couple of laps since you last saw us. Now lap 14, so it's been about 3 laps since you last saw us when we overtook Leclerc, and now there's some yellow flags, and I wasn't told that Fernando Alonso had a problem, but he went really slowly, and that was just another free position for us. We had another 3 earlier, with of course you saw Raikkonen retiring. Did Lewis Hamilton retire? I think we gained at least 2 positions, because I know that Raikkonen was out of the race. Alonso we gained another free position from, and we also gained a free position later on as well, when Valtteri Bottas made a mistake, and I was in 6th place, about 2 laps to go. There was no way I was going to catch Grosjean and Magnussen. They just did a better job last day, and in fact Brendan Hartley we were pulling away from afterwards, so having to fend from him for a while, we were able to pull away. And after Alonso, when we overtook him, we were just able to relax a bit, because I knew I wasn't going to catch the Haas guys, and I knew that Hartley wasn't going to catch us, so I just took it a bit easy. And now coming through the final corner on the final lap, Sebastian Vettel has won the race, as you can see, and we come across the line in 6th place. Fairly happy with that result. Started 4th, obviously. I believe we qualified in 6th or 7th on pace. I don't entirely remember where I did in fact qualify, but now let's have a look at the podium.
So here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more.
So now looking at the race results, Sebastian Vettel kicked off his campaign in a perfect way, winning the race, with Daniel Ricciardo finishing in 2nd place for Red Bull and Lewis Hamilton finishing in 3rd. Magnussen and Grosjean did a good job to finish in 4th and 5th, just ahead of myself in 6th. Brendan Hartley did a fantastic job to come up from 14th to finish in 7th, with Sergio Perez finishing in 8th. Valtteri Bottas finished in 9th, not the best race for him, and Marcus Ericsson managed to get points in the Sauber after qualifying in 15th. Sainz also did good, coming up from 19th to finish in just outside the points. Raikkonen, Alonso and Van Dorn didn't finish the race. Van Dorn did actually have a problem, but he was still classified because he obviously still finished the race. So fairly good race, my first race, beating Sainz once again. Look at the driver standings, obviously exactly the same as the race results. Constructors, Ferrari lead the way, 3 points ahead of Haas. I don't believe Haas will stay there. I believe that Red Bull and Mercedes will definitely overtake them. I believe that we are hopefully going to overtake them later in the season. But at the moment it's Ferrari leading the way with Haas. Red Bull are in 3rd with Mercedes in 4th and ourselves in 5th. Looking at the race, obviously against my teammate, I beat him on 4 out of the 5 I beat him on 3 out of the 5, and we equaled on 1. After the race, we get 201 resource points as our total, and we did in fact complete a clean race. And our total is now 124 points. Our reputation goes up with all teams bar Red Bull, Haas and Ferrari, but still that's pretty good. And next we have an invitational event, which is Japan Short, or I believe it was a race in another Ferrari. I can't exactly remember which. The 2004 Ferrari it was. And you know, we got a good email from Carl saying that was a good race. But yeah, as I said, I'm not going to show you the invitational event. I believe we go to the R&D. Don't know if we do go to the R&D tree again. But nevertheless, we have also got a. What is it? I'm trying to think. I can't remember. For the life of me, I can't remember. But nevertheless, I like what they've done here with this screen, so you can see where you actually qualified and things like that. My average grid is 5th, so I think I must qualify 5th and got 1 place moved up. But you know, we've got 400 resource points coming our way after we completed the race, and we actually don't upgrade everything on the chassis. But yeah, like I said, not showing you invitation events. If you do want me to show you the invitation events in future episodes, then do let me know and I will show them to you. But for now, I'm not going to for this one anyway. But that's been it from me. So if you did enjoy it, please get a big like, comment down below what you thought, subscribe if you are new for weekly F1 content. As always, follow me on Twitter at ShanleySage82. As always, links are down in the description, and I will see you guys next time.